All right, so apparently Toto's type in women is a philosophy video by Jew, and I can kind of guess what he's gonna talk about, right? We know that Toto kind of gauges somebody's personality based on their type, right? He said Megumi was very boring because Megumi only cared about a woman's personality. And then we know Toto and Yuji like a tall woman with a big ass. So they're more like interesting types of guys, I guess.
Picture this. A man asks, "What kind of woman is your type?" And he uses the answer to predict whether or not you will choke in a life or death battle.
Honestly, if Toto asked me that, I don't even know how I'd respond because I don't even think I have like a specific type. I feel like types are kind of BS in the first place. If you get what I mean, like just having a type, I don't know.
And guess what? He's right every time.
It's just like either you find somebody attractive or you don't, you know? I don't feel like there's like necessarily like a type.
Philosophers have been using this technique for 2,500 years. Todo Aoi figured it out by asking about butts. Kyoto versus Tokyo Goodwill event. Todo walks up to Megumi Fushiguro and asks one question. What kind of woman is your type? Megumi obviously deflects. He doesn't answer. It's weird. Why would he, right?
I mean,
Todo immediately
I mean, well, yeah, of course you're gonna be shocked if some random buff Anna is coming up asking what kind of woman is your type randomly. Like Toto's, like if Toto was like a real life person, he would be weird. Like people would call him weird, bro.
loses interest, calls him boring, writes him off. Then he meets Yuji. Same question. Except this time, Yuji, with zero hesitation, says, "Tall woman with big butts." And Todo tears up. He calls him his best friend.
Like Jennifer Lawrence, right?
And then something bizarre happens. Todo invents a memory. A completely fake flashback of him and Yuji growing up together. Playing baseball, fighting bullies. Years of brotherhood that never existed. He didn't
A
just
lot of people were speculating that this was Yuji's like cursed technique or something because, you know, it happened with Choso, it happened with Toto. All these like weird fake memories.
accept Yuji. He rewrote his own past to include him. Same question, two answers.
Wait, here's what I find weird. You guys know that idol that Toto likes, Taka-chan or something? Like Toto has some type of idol girl that like he likes and he said he was going to confess to and he had a crush on. And I believe she is tall, but I don't even believe that she has like a big ass. We've barely really seen her, but she doesn't have a big ass. So I feel like Toto's kind of I feel like Toto low-key goes against his own type in women that he says he likes. He says he likes a tall woman with a big ass, but the idol that he has a crush on is only tall. It doesn't Mappa never animated any scenes where we're seeing her with like a big ass or anything. Like I don't know, I just feel like Toto goes against his own type by saying that cuz I don't even know if she's tall honestly, but whatever.
One guy gets dismissed forever. One guy became family in an instant. Most people see this as a joke, but
Okay, nah, hold on. I'm gonna check. Let's see if Toto's type is philosophy. 1 minute, 30 seconds in. Hold on. Toto meets his idol. Hold up. Yeah, Takada, right? I don't let me see if she's tall. Hold up. Mm. Yeah, so I mean she's decently tall, but she doesn't really have a big ass. You can kind of tell based on this frame she's more like skinny fit. Hold up. Hmm. Yeah. Well, obviously Mappa isn't gonna show us. They're not gonna show us her ass or whatever. But whatever. Toto's type is a philosophy. Dear Lord, though, it's just like I don't know. I mean, hey,
joke, but
I'll give it to Toto because she is tall. All right, she's tall. She's decently tall. So she at least fits one of his criteria points.
there's a reason this works. 2,500 years ago, Socrates walked around Athens asking people questions. not to get answers, but to expose them. He'd ask something very simple, and then keep pushing until the person realized they didn't actually know what they believed.
Hmm.
The Socratic method isn't about the answer, it's about whether you've examined yourself deeply enough to answer. Now look at Toto's question. What's your type isn't about preference. It's asking, do you know yourself? Are you connected to what you actually want?
I feel like okay, I kind of see what you're going for, but I feel like total thinking that would be kind of stupid because like does that mean that Megumi doesn't know himself just because he prefers like a woman with personality? I guess it's more of like a vague answer, yeah, just saying, "Oh, I'm fine with any woman as long as she just is a nice person or has a nice personality," you know? It is a little bit vague, but it's just like I don't know. I feel like to profile somebody off of just the woman that they like is crazy.
Or are you performing what you think you should want? Megumi deflects.
Okay. Actually, I kind of like that angle because even Nobara was like, "Oh, if you said a woman with big boobs or a big ass or something, I would have to like slap you or whatever, or I'd get mad." I don't know if Megumi is necessarily performing by saying he just likes a woman with a nice or good personality. I think Megumi just genuinely thinks that. I don't think he was trying to perform for anybody. I don't know.
Because he's uncomfortable with desire. He overthinks, keeps distance from his own instincts. Yuji answers instantly because there is no gap between who he is and how he presents. No filter, no performance.
Hmm.
There's also
Yeah.
a Zen concept here, koans. Questions like, what's the sound of one hand clapping? They're not meant to be solved. They're meant to bypass your rational mind and expose your true nature. Toto's question works the same way. It's so absurd that your mask can't prepare an answer. Whatever comes out first, that's who you actually are. Here's what makes
True.
this a bit more than a party trick. Toto's curse technique is called Boogie Woogie. It lets him swap positions with anything that has cursed energy, but only if he can read the battlefield instantly. His entire fighting style depends on split-second reads of where people are and what they'll do next.
Yeah.
The question is not random, it's actually training. Todo has turned reading people into a survival skill. And his reads are always right. Megumi, brilliant strategist, but he hesitates at critical moments. Exactly what Todo predicted. Yuji, no technique, no pedigree, but he never flinches. He fights like someone with nothing to hide.
I do agree that Megumi does kind of flinch a bit more in battles and stuff, but I feel like for responding, well actually when he did respond to Toto, he was confused at first, but he still thought about it and then, he was thinking about Sumika or whatever his sister. So I think that influenced him just to say like a good personality since Sumiki's always talking about like being a good person or whatever and stuff.
During Shibuya, when everything falls apart, Todo trusts Yuji with his life. And when Todo loses his hand, literally loses his ability to use Boogie Woogie, he
Yeah.
doesn't panic because he already knew that Yuji wouldn't let him down. One silly question, asked once, and Todo built unshakable battlefield trust from the answer. Watch this moment. Todo, arm gone, Mahito evolving, death everywhere. He looks at Yuji and says, "Don't worry, my soul knows you're my best friend." That's not even a joke anymore. That's a man who found a way to see exactly who someone is in 3 seconds.
Damn.
Most people think Todo is dumb. Comic relief, all muscle, no brain. But he built a
Honestly, I've never I might have thought that about Toto for a little bit, but honestly, he's like a really good battle strategist and his technique's utility is just way too broken. Being able to swap positions with people, it's just it's pretty overpowered if you see how it's used, especially Toto and Yuji versus Mahito. And there's even a later fight in the manga. Actually, yeah, let me not spoil. Whatever. Let me not spoil. But all I'm gonna say is Todo and Yuji fight a really, really strong person in Jujutsu Kaisen later in the manga, and Todo definitely just helps out a lot with his curse technique, boogie woogie, and stuff.
One question personality test with a 100% accuracy rate in life or death situations. Socrates would approve. So here's what I'm left thinking about. Most of us spend our lives curating answers, filtering, performing, making sure we sound smart or cool or acceptable.
Yep,
Toto's question cuts through all of that in 3 seconds.
that's true.
So maybe the real question isn't, what's your type? It's this.
Who are you?
When's the last time you answered anything without worrying how it made you look?
Damn, that cuts deep. It's kind of difficult though because like it's just about society. Like if you're talking to certain people, if you're talking to a billionaire, right? If you're randomly talking to a billionaire, you are gonna change how you switch up, how you talk. But I mean, if you're the type of person who would talk to a billionaire the same way you would any other person, then yeah, I respect you. You're respectable. But
If you had to think about it, Toto already knows.
damn. Okay, I see it with the plot twist. But yeah, that was a really good analyzation, and it was only about 5 minutes. Yeah, I pretty much agree with everything with most of the stuff he said. Yeah, your first thought, if somebody randomly asks you what type of woman is your type, whatever your first thought is, that is your type. Like it's just like people do this type of test all the time. Like your very first thought is usually your true answer, and any thought that comes after your first thought is you filtering your answer to sound acceptable or moral or whatever, right? Um, so lesson of the day: be the opposite of Light Yagami. Yeah, I had to mention Light. Light Yagami always filters what he says. He pretends to be a good guy. Every time he's talking to L, he's just like he's gaslighting, all that stuff. So yeah, just be the opposite of Light Yagami. Be like Yuji Itadori and tell the truth. Share your true thoughts, I guess.